Hi everybody, it's me Rachel, Tim Man Lover, and in this video I'm going to show you how to loom knit a matching hat for your American Girl doll and for your girl or for you or somebody else who loves American Girl dolls just as much as I do. So this idea I have been working on recreating Molly's knitting Nelly craft. I've been working on this video, long in-depth video on it, and I've been trying to sew up the I-cord together to make a hat, but I am getting nowhere with this project. So I am using whatever leftover yarn I have to make a matching hat for me or my niece's dolls. Anyway, so the yarn I am using is Red Heart Super Saver in the color Mexicana. Now I'm using 2 of these yarns because I will be loom knitting hats on the circle looms. This is the large one. Like this. It's a little bit bigger, but that's fine because I'd rather knit too big of a hat than knit too small of a hat on the hat. So I'd rather use the bigger one to knit a hat for my nieces. They're very tall for their age, so I'd rather have the hat be too big for them so that they can grow into it a little bit more. Also, I like hats to have a brim on them as well. And then I have the smaller circle loom for doll hats. So, what I will show you is you will need 2 of these yarns. And what I can also show you, what I'm going to be showing you is how to line up your 2 balls of yarn or skeins of yarn to get them to line up to the same color. I did this already ahead of time, but I can show you this. What you do is you take your, you take both balls of yarn or skeins of yarn, line them up, and then if you want them to line up to the color rainbow accordingly, to have the colors line up, that is great. I did this ahead of time, but what you can do if you have two skeins of this yarn and one color is not lining up to the same one, you cut that part of the yarn, you cut it evenly and get it to line up where you want it to for the start of your hat. I'll start on the girl hat first, or the adult size hat. This is what I'm doing. What you will do is make a slip knot. You're holding both yarns together as one to make the hat more thicker and everything. So let me show you how to make a slip knot. You take your pointer finger and you loop the yarn like this, and you pull the yarn from the ball of yarn into your finger, your other finger, and you do it like this. Make a slip knot just like this. And then you take your circle loom, the big one, and you see the outside peg right here, the outside peg right here. You will put the slip knot through on it like this, and you take the yarn that's attached to the yarn and you ball yarn and you pull it to make it tight, and now you are ready to loom knit, to cast on. Let me just readjust this here and show you how to cast on. It is the same way for the circle, for the small loom as well. So I'm going to be doing the E-wrap stitch, which is the simplest, pretty much a knit stitch for loom knitting. So take your yarn. Oopsie daisy. Okay. Where is it? Okay, let me just readjust a second. Here we go. Okay. You take your... Let me redo this slip knot. I have trouble seeing the purple part of the yarn when I first start a project on the Mexicana yarn. I have to start it on a color I'm able to see because the purple fading into the color change of purple and blue are a little bit hard for me to see. So I'll just redo this slip knot like that and put it back on here like that, and I am ready to start. So take your yarn, you wrap it around. Oh dear. Let me show you how to do this. Do this backwards. Oh my. Okay. Do this like this. Take it. What's the yarn doing? Okay. Oh my goodness. I can't seem to put these together. My goodness. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, now you're ready to cast on like this. You take your working yarn and you wrap it on the peg like this. Show you how to do it like this. Just wrap it around just like this. You wrap it once around every single peg like this. Take your time on it. Don't want to be too tight, but I don't want it to be too loose. Let me just do this, just like that, all the way around. Show you this on another angle. You wrap them once, and then like this once, and then loom knitting for a very long time, so I'm able to cast on really quickly. So, oh my, okay, so now you have your first part here. You're going to push, you're going to wrap the yarn again for a second time, so you have two. Let me show you what to do next. A cast on yarn is tell the yarn. Okay, so do that once. Now we wrap it again a second time. So we'll have two loops of yarn on the loom. Do it like this. And you gotta, if you need to, you can push the top halfway down like this. Doing this. Do this all the way. Okay, what happened? Okay, I made a mistake somewhere. Let me fix this. Okay, somehow I missed a peg. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me just slip knot here. you wrap it. Do this. Like that. You wrap it. Okay, let me just do this real quick. Let me just fix this real quick. Then I'll show you. Wrap it around once. Wrap the yarn around, you wrap it once around the loom, and then you do it twice. So you have 2 sets of wrapped yarn around your loom. Like this. Do this real fast. Push down a little bit. Take time. Oh, first thing in the morning. Tutorial. There we go. You wrap around every single peg twice. Do this real fast. And then when you wrap the last one, you wrap the last peg like this. You have them all wrapped. You add 2 loops on your circle loom. Now take your loom made hook. What I do is I go and yarn over the last peg to anchor it. So you take the bottom, take your loom hook, and you put it through, and you pick up the bottom loop, bottom yarn. Let me see. Bottom here, pick them up with your loom hook. We pick up the bottom and you yarn them over. Just the bottom. So that way, when you loom it, you can let go of the yarn from here and it won't unravel. And you pick up, you yarn over the bottom yarn like this. Yarn it over the loom. And you do that with every single one. Let me just readjust here. Let me just loosen up the yarn tail here. Pick it up. Yarn it over. Oh my. Alright, let me just yarn this over and keep on going. Sometimes the first row of yarn over, the first 2, can be a little bit tight, but that's okay. Let me just yarn this over and keep on going. Come on, silly yarn. Alright, so what I had to do off camera was I had to unloop the yarn tail a little bit off, but you can still. So what you will do next is take your next peg, go to the next peg, you pick up the bottom yarn, and you yarn it, too tight, or too loose. Oh boy, let me show you how to fix this problem. You don't want your yarn cast on yarn tail to be too tight, but you don't want to be too loose. So let me just fix this a bit to correct this little error I made. To put this back on the peg. The outside peg. To fix this real fast. To attach it back. Oh my goodness. Peg, outside peg, so the yarn doesn't come off, so the yarn doesn't undo, so the bottom doesn't unravel from the. Okay, I'll just hold this one a little bit tight, so keep all the way around. Oh my goodness. Okay. And you pick it up. Hold on to your bottom part, but there you go. So what you will do is you will yarn over the bottom of the whole entire loom. Do that whole row. And I will show you what to do next. Alright, once you've yarned over the first row, now it's time to do the next row. You take your circle loom and you push down the yarn halfway, and you do this for every single one. You push it down halfway, just halfway, and we make another row before we E-wrap again. And this is what you do for every single row. Do this real fast. I had to start over off camera on my loom hat, on my circle loom, because I had issues on camera, so I had to redo it. I had to redo the first row. So now, once you push your yarn loops halfway down, we're going to E-wrap again. And I will show you what to do with the outside tail. With the tail like looped on the outside. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you will take your yarn, the yarn that's attached to your yarn ball, and you will E-wrap like we did last time around every single peg for the whole entire thing. E-wrap it. Alright everybody, I yarned over the yarn on this second row of the yarn for the hat. What you will do now is you will push after you yarn over everything, you will push down your halfway down, I apologize. Let me just do this halfway, all the way for each and every peg. There we go, that works for me, because I can see it, and so can you. You do this all the way around, push your yarn, your loops halfway down. When you wrap your yarn, let me just do this real quick. Let me just do this real fast. Push your yarn loops halfway down, and then we'll be ready to E-wrap again. And this is what you do for the whole entire hat. You just push your yarn halfway, you E-wrap your yarn, and you yarn over your yarn. So, let's do this real quick. Also, I'll show you what to do about this outside tail real quick, because I slip knotted it earlier, and they're at a spot where it's a good spot to take it off the outside peg like this, and slip knot it off, and put it on the inside of the loom, like that. So, your yarn tail is safe on the inside now. So we're going to E-wrap the yarn. Let me see. Oh my. Like this. Like this. You just E-wrap your yarn all the way, every single peg. You do this every single time. We E-wrap and we yarn over the yarn. Do this every single time for the whole entire hat. And this is how you loom knit a hat. I'm starting on the girl size hat for a girls and dolls matching hat. Then you wrap your working yarn around the outside peg, and you again yarn over the yarn, the last one, like this, real quick. Do this real fast. Yarn over, like that, and then keep yarning over your pegs, and keep on going, and keep on knitting till you get a whole bunch of rows on your hat. I'm just gonna keep on knitting here while I chat, I guess. My mom is watching some Christian show on YouTube, which is cool. So this project again came up as I was working on a project, recreating the Molly's Knitting Nelly project to make a doll hat, and out of an I-cord, knitted I-cord, it didn't really work. So I'm doing this project instead. So I'm doing two tutorials in one big long video to make a matching hat for you and your American Girl doll. So this will take a while, but that's okay. Just keep on knitting, loom knitting all the way. Yarn. Let me just move my yarn around, or my knitting around here, and just take time to knit this as I go. Let me just do this real quickly. I've been looming for a very long time, and so I got pretty fast at this. So again, I will refresh you guys on what to do. Once you yarn over all your pegs, you will push your yarn loops halfway down like this, all the way around, for every single peg, like that, just like this. I'm turning my loom peg upside down just to, I circle loom upside down just to make it easier. I guess, I don't know, I'm just doing this a little bit quick because I was in the middle. It's nighttime now again. It's been so much fun me doing this video. I actually started this project early in the morning and was a very busy aunt today, so I was able to put this aside today and work on the rest of the video tonight. So what you will do is keep loom knitting the hat till it gets to a lot of rows, and I will meet back with you as the hat grows to a very big hat. You just push your yarn peg halfway down, all the way around. It's all what you do. You just loom knit around and around and around until it gets very, very big. Then you E-wrap your yarn around each peg. Just take your time with it. Oopsie daisy. Just like this. Sorry if you can't see that good, it's nighttime. Oopsie daisy. You just E-wrap all the way around every single peg. So do this real fast. Just E-wrap all the way around every single peg, and then do this real fast. Then I take the working yarns and I wrap them around that side peg. Then what I do is the last peg I do is I yarn over the last peg so that when I knit, oopsie daisy, you can't really see that good. I yarn it over so that when I oopsie daisy, yarn over, when I knit, the yarn won't unravel as I knit the rest, as I yarn over the rest of the yarn loops. So this is what you do the whole entire time for looming a hat. You just repeat this step over and over and over again, and I will get back to you guys. I'm gonna listen to this Christian program that my mom's listening to about the rapture. So catch you guys when this is done. Alright everybody, now that I have finished the yarn on the hat, I loom knitted a total of 90 rows. And at some point, the yarn had a mind of its own and it stopped lining up the colors, but that's okay. It is beautiful as it is. It reminds me of Jonah's coat of many colors in the Bible. Come on, doesn't it? She's listening to her cowboy audiobook. So, now that you have 90 rows, I went with 90 rows because one of the balls of yarn I used for illuminating this hat, I used for knitting a scarf. So I had leftover yarn, so one yarn ball was smaller than the other, so I cut the yarn off of one yarn ball so that I could finish this hat. So I illuminated a total of 90 rows. I counted. You can do less because this is an adult size loom. I'm making this for my size or my niece. I'm making the hat bigger for my nieces because I do this as a rule of thumb, is that if you are looming a hat for someone, you rather knit the hat too big and have them, like for my nieces, they're 4 and almost 3. I'd rather make them a hat that's too big that they can grow into, that we can roll up the hat into a brim and they can still wear it still. They have to grow into a little bit more, but it's still gonna fit them still. Might be a little bit too big, but it's gonna work. Then me make a hat for them and it'd be too little and not be able to wear it at all. So after you have loomed 90 rows, you take your loom and you push your loops halfway down, or maybe all the way down, because what I will do now is I will do this real fast, push these down about maybe halfway or maybe all the way down, so that I can, now we can turn this into a hat. The next part, so push halfway down, all the way down in this instance, because now you will now, let me show you, you will take the knitting, take it and turn it this way, like this, inside out, but then somewhat do a little bit of finagling to get it like this, to start getting it onto the loom, to get it exactly, because what you will do next is to get the hat shaped into the hat. Okay, there. So now you'll do like this, and now just finagle this a bit here. Okay, let me just get my loom hook, and you will take your cast on row right here, and you will start putting your cast on row stitches at from the very beginning of your loom knitting project, and you will put them on to the pegs like this, both loops just like that. And you will do this for every single stitch. Sometimes you might need your loom hook to help you find them and put them on. For me, because I've been doing loom knitting hats for such a long time, I don't usually need to use a loom hook unless I cannot see the stitches. Like in the example of yarn, like camouflage yarn or purple and blue yarn, like in this yarn example. So you will do that all around like this. We'll do this all the way around for every single stitch. Pick up the bottom, your cast on stitch, and loop it onto the hat. And I will show you what to do next. Okay, so after you put all the loops, your cast on loops, onto the loom, you will now take your riveting hook and yarn over it like how we did before. We yarn over the bottom over to make a stitch. Let me just find my loom hook. Alright, found my loom hook. Alright, so now what you will do, like how we did all throughout making the hat, is you will yarn over the bottom loop to, it doesn't even matter at this point which one you yarn over. Watching, never mind, it does matter. Okay, let me just yarn over the last one like I've shown all throughout knitting the hat. Loosen this up, come on, yarn. Okay, let me just get this yarn over. You will yarn over this like always, every single one. Let me just fix the position here of the camera or the phone so you're in more in frame with it, with the loom here, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me just finagle this here and just take time on it. You don't have to rush with it, because if you rush it, then the loops will pop off the loom and then you'll be mad. So let me just do this really quick. And I think I need a new oxygen cannula because I don't feel the oxygen going in my nose. It is nighttime. I wear oxygen at night and I definitely need it. So yeah, so once you yarn over every single loop, I will show you what to do next. But as I'm yarning over the yarn, the last part here, I wanted to talk about loom knitting and how it pertains to history, because I just randomly looked up loom knitting. I think I looked this up like last night or early this morning about loom knitting as I was filming more of this video last night. So I looked up, because I know with loom knitting or with Molly's knitting Nelly is that the original craft kit from Puzzle Company came with a spool knitter, which is very much a loom knitter, but just for pegs. So in a nutshell, Molly was technically loom knitting. She was loom knitting, but just on a 4-peg loom and just making I-cord with it. So, I wanted to see how long loom knitting has been around. It's been around a long time. So, I loom knit. This is technically one of the first things I started to do, and I would watch videos on how to loom knit. So, for me, alright, so, as I mentioned, Molly and the craft kit came with a little spool knitter, and so I started loom knitting. I started learning it. There's round circle looms like this, and there's rectangle looms, and also I watched someone's video a while ago on regular knitting and the history of knitting of World War II, of when Molly, her story is based in World War II, during that time, and they had knitting machines where you can knit socks on a circle knitting machine back in Molly's time. So, anyways, this is loom knitting. Of course, I'm loom knitting a hat, and not an I-cord, but, in that, I got the idea of recreating Molly's knitting Nelly craft by using just regular knitting needles, just regular knitting needles and knitting a very tall I-cord, which I've been trying to put together in the shape of a hat, which has not gone well. So I just went with this idea instead, because if you cannot figure out the knitting a very tall I-cord and shaping it into a doll hat, and you want to recreate that craft using the same color yarn that Pleasant Company used in the craft kit, this is the yarn I'm using that is using this yarn still. So I just took with what I knew to do and ran with it, like, okay, I want to look up the history of loom knitting and whatnot. And it gives me the question, because if Nelly had, different doll name, sorry, Molly had a spool knitter, did they have circle looms like this, where you can loom knit a hat like this in Molly's time in the 1940s? I'm curious. Anyway, so I also remember too, besides the craft kit and loom knitting in general, American Girl also, when American Girl had their deal, had arts and craft kits from at the Michael's craft store. I remember seeing American Girl release a craft kit where you loom knitted a infinity scarf for you and your doll. So American Girl makes really cool craft kits, okay? So I thought, like, okay, I can loom knit this doll hat, and I made it inspired by hats using the same colors, the same color of yarn that the Pleasant Company Molly's Knitting Nelly craft kit had. Instead of making a I-cord hat, I'm just gonna loom knit this one. Alright, so now that you've yarned over the bottom loops of the hat, you will now use your loom hook and feed the working yarn through to help seal the hat even more. Let me show you. Just wiggle this through like this, and you put the leftover yarn like this, and you thread it through like this, and you pull it through. Just a little bit slower so you guys can see what I'm doing here. We need to push your loops down a little bit to make it easier for you to grab your leftover working yarn to feed it through easier. To do this just like that, to get to pick up the yarn, and nope, it's not waiting to pick up. Do this, and then pick up the yarn and feed it through. Oh, it's being caught on one of the strands of thread, strands of yarn. Do this and pick it up and feed it through. Then do that all the way around to make this a bit quicker. Push halfway down and start feeding it through. Just do this. Take your time. Live it. Let me just take time on this one and feed it through. And just like that. And then you can do that all the way around. I'll show you what to do next. Do this off camera or on camera and just turn over and feed through every single one. Oh boy. Take time on this. Let me just try I don't pick up pieces of the yarn fiber that doesn't split. That's happened before, or the loom peg pops off. If that happens, let's pop it back in. and super glue it in, because I got the looms that the pegs pop out, but stick them back in, no big deal. So let's just do this all the way through, and I will show you what to do next. Alright, so now that you've yarned over, I mean threaded through your yarn through the pegs, and it's now time to take your hat off the loom. So what you'll do is you take your loom hook, put it under your peg, and start taking them off the loop, off the pegs, one by one, just like this. You can wiggle it around a little bit to get it off. Just pop it off, take it off the loom, and like this, just slide through, pull it. There you go, like that. I'm going to show you a little bit more better view here. To over like this and come right off. Then slide it halfway down, grab your loom hook and take it off just like this. Let me just do this off camera and I will show you. You have to do this with every single peg on the loom, and once you do that, just do this real fast. Just start taking them off the loom one by one, and if you want to, you can start pulling on the yarn, pulling on this yarn, and it will start to close your hat up. So let me just get these off the loom, and it'll be time to close up the hat. And this is where you need a crochet hook. Let me just do this real quick and I'll be right there to show you how to close it up. See how it's starting to come off the loom here like this? I will show you what to do next once it is off the loom. Last one, take off the peg, and it goes off here. Then you will pull your hat, pull the leftover string, left over, and you will start pulling it into the hat to close the hat. And then, let me see if I can get this right, to get this exactly how I need it to close. Just take your time, pull it super tight, then also tie it. Tie the yarn, start tying it to, okay, then you take the yarn, both strings, you will start tying it. After that, you tie it, you make it really, really tight. You make a few knots, you pull the yarn, that form it into a hat, take it, tie a few knots, then pull it more, make a few knots, and then you can take a crochet hook or a tapestry needle and close up the rest. Let me get that crochet hook while I'm at it to make sure that every little spot of the hole is closed up all of the way. Let me just pull this a little bit here to then as you want to grab the crochet hook and want to secure the yarn knots. To do that, grab the crochet hook. Can't see where I'm picking up the stitches at. Okay, there we go. Use a crochet hook or a tapestry needle to help you close in the hat. Do that to tie it more, to make a better knot, and tie it, and when you're ready, tie a few knots. Just double check to make sure that the hole is closed all the way, and then you are done with the hat. You can sew in weave in the tails using a tapestry needle to sew in the leftover hole bit, and use tapestry needle, crochet hook, whatever it is you use, and you are done with the hat. Here's what it looks like. Turn it inside out to show you what it looks like. Honestly, there's no inside out or inside outside. This can work either way. But now it is time to make the matching hat for the doll. It is the same way as you make the girl sized hat. So let me grab my little loom, the small loom, and I will start on this one next.